Hello. So I have been curious about a couple things. I haven't actually got a name for this yet. I've been curious about a couple different things, and one of the this particular one case is GM emulators. Now there are a couple different uses that you can do with these. You can use them as a GM to um, add a bit of extra randomness to the way you run the game. When you want to add something that off screen, you can use it while just to add a little bit of extra things. Like player asks a question that you hadn't thought of before, you can use the GM emulator to come up with the answer a little bit and keep it mostly behind the screen so the players don't know precisely what you're doing. And it just gives a little bit of extra flair and randomness to the story. You can also use it as a group of friends where nobody really wants to GM, so you end up using the GM emulator and then everybody gets to play a character. And then you can play. What I'm going to be doing here is you can play as a solo player and run all the characters and all the GM things and use the GM emulator to figure out what's going on against you. This would be a little bit easier in some cases, I think, with some of the other types of stories that you have, some of the other types of RPG systems that you have out there, like a lot of the Powered by Apocalypse GM emulation is a little bit built into it in that the GM never actually rolls dice in a Powered by the Apocalypse game. Uh, the GM, the players roll dice to defend, the players roll dice to attack, the players roll dice to look for questions, and the GM interprets the dice to give a success, a full success, a partial success, or a miss. And miss doesn't necessarily mean they failed at what they did, but some complication ensues. And that kind of game would definitely have go well with the GM emulator, I think. And I'm going to try that at some point. But there's a couple other things I've been interested in. The one I'm putting together now is a idea I had, which just something goofy to do, try to see how much differentiation you can give the characters of the same class. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making 6 paladins and putting them in a party together of different types. I'm using some pre-existing art that I already have. So this character's art, that's not the name that this character belongs to. This is actually art I had done for a superhero game. And yeah, she looks a little lightly armored to be a paladin, but yeah, she's going to be the paladin of Timora, and she's going to be the treachery paladin. Treachery being one of the quote unquote evil paladins that the Unearthed Arcana has. Um, but I'm going to be reworking it as a trickery. I'm not going to be changing the stats or anything. I'm going to be using the Unearthed Arcana stats, but I'm going to be working it as a trickery paladin rather than one of treachery. And she's going to be a little bit more lightly armored. So we'll probably have something to represent like a gambeson, or which would probably be the equivalent of a studded leather, even though it would be. Most people look at a gambeson and say, that's padded armor. It's the worst armor there is. Actual real life gambeson's really awesome armor and probably would be more about the equivalent of studded leather in D&D, or maybe even a chain shirt. Hard to say. But she's going to be a little bit more lightly armored than some of the others. Okay. So we're going to start. This is the art I have for this is actually. Ooh, I have not added the art for this yet. It's by a different artist. It's by a different artist than the others, but this one is an actual paladin. Actually, a couple of these are for actual paladins, and that'll be this character. Okay, save the changes. Can't get a good view of it, but okay. She is going to be I'm going to go start them all at level 3 because that's where you get your archetype, and they're all going to be different kinds of paladins. And oh, I already started on her. here's what she's going to be. She's going to be Oath of Conquest. Fallen Azamar. And what her backstory is that she was a celestial that was summoned as part of a battle to destroy a terrible artifact. And in the aftermath of the destruction, her summoner was not being careful about um, her safety, and she ended up inundated with spiritual filth and crashing to the earth. Everybody assumed she was destroyed or was sent back to the heavens or something like that. Actually, they pretty much assumed that, oh, she's a summon. She just goes back to the heavens, or they just go back to the heavens. Since I don't know for sure. I don't really know. By default, I play female characters. So by default, I tend to refer to my characters as she. Zinna here might be a they. Kind of hard to say, considering her background. She wasn't exactly born. Celestials aren't exactly male or female a lot of the time. Sometimes they are. But yeah, anyway. Um, but anyway, let's build the character here. We are going to give her 15 Constitution. No, we're going to give her 14 Constitution right now. We're going to give her 15 Charisma. 8 Dexterity. I'm using a 30-point draw by, and I am aware that 27 is the standard. I like the greater flexibility with this. Okay, what do I want for strength? You are a relatively strong person, so 15. This is going to be interesting. Oh, I could put you to 14 to save. Okay, so that is 14 because 7 and 7, plus 9 because of the 15, and that is 23. I got 10 and 10, so plus 4, 2 each. That's 27. I got 3 points left. So I'm going to put the wisdom up to 12 and the intelligence up to 11. And I could just put wisdom up to 13. I think I might do that. Okay, so as a thing, she is a soldier background because when she became mortal, after she got over it, didn't get over it. After she became mortal, she started going around and working as a mercenary fighter once she got on her own 2 feet somewhat. Now, the dexterity, the reason why conquest and the dexterity is low, kind of connected. It's connected to her backstory. The mortals are a mix in D&D. Mortals are a mix of all the elemental energies and all the outer planar energies. So that's how celestial plus wash of fiendish energy made mortal, but it didn't mix quite right. So she has what she refers to as her wound, so that she is in constant pain, and that has made it to where it's very difficult for her to experience things other than negative emotions, or and the positive emotions are really, really, really muted and buried under pain and everything else. They're there, they're just really hard to feel. So as a fallen Azamar, as an Azamar, she gets plus 2 charisma. As a fallen Azamar, she gets plus 1 strength. Now, my preference would be to have that 16 in the Constitution, but that's just not going to happen. Let's see. For hit points, I'm just going to take the average. So 10 to start. 10 plus 2 is 12. I'm starting level 3, so and the average for 10, I believe, is 6. Let me check that in the book. Yep, 6 every level, so 8. So it's going to be 10 plus 8 plus 8, so it's 26. Yep. Okay, there we go. I originally did some rolling and did a version. I decided I didn't want to roll because it made all their stats way too swingy. I'm kind of wanting to see how well you can build it, not how well the dice roll for you. Anyway, she got athletics and intimidation for being a soldier. I decided to give her religion because of her background as a celestial, and insight because, again, the background's celestial. Actually, no, insight. She is very, very. The other two options, though, for paladin are medicine and persuasion. I think I'll give medicine. She might have picked some up. Okay, but I'm going to leave the insight low because of the fact that she is a little bit beaten up. And instead of a gaming thing, because normally soldiers get a gaming thing, instead of that, I'm going to give her a loot, which is fine. You can play around with backgrounds a lot. In fact, if I wanted to, I could alter her background a little bit. Let's see here, intelligence. Do I want intelligence? No. This is loot. Make it dexterity. In fact, if I wanted to, I could shift it. Instead of medicine, athletics, have the paladin choice. I could shift the background a little bit and change the two skills that you get from being the soldier, from intimidation and athletics to let's see, and get one of these from paladin, because these are all on the paladin list, and the other one, just because of how long she's lived, get it history. There we go. That works. And she already did comment in Celestial for that. I am going to go and do her. That does look like a Morning Star. I am going to be doing it as a I'm going to be doing that as a what do you call it? As a Warhammer in stats instead. Most likely, might do it as a I might do it as a Morning Star. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it as a Morning Star. But first, in addition to Oath of Conquest, there is something else I have to choose at second level, and that is a fighting style. I don't want her to have particularly anything that is. I'm not going to make. I don't want her to be particularly focused on a style of weaponry, so I'm going to give her fighting style defense. I'm going to be filling in a lot of this off camera. So that's going to be class and Paladin 2. Paladin 2nd. Okay. And +1 to AC while wearing armor. And because I don't want her to be focused on two-handed weapons or shields or one-handed weapons or anything like that. She's going to be focused on that. Okay. So she's going to have, when she gets her, I'm going to be doing the items and all that based off of a higher character level anyway. So I might be doing up one horde for each of them, basically. I'll do one random horde for each of them or something like that. Or, yeah, I think what I'll probably do is I'll give each of them about 500 gold and an uncommon magic choice. One uncommon item. Okay. So Caress. Caress, who I haven't filled in yet, is a Yuan-Ti pure blood who is and hers is going to be Courtesan. Courtesan is a custom background you can find online. She is going to be a paladin of Sharess, who is the chaotic good goddess of basically hedonism, fest houses, pleasure, and cats. In all honesty, she's Bast, and not the historic version of Bast. Well, caveat. She is the historic version of Bast that was a warrior for the heavens and all of that. What happens, Sharess is a Forgotten Realms deity, but a lot of the Forgotten Realms deity are Earth deities that wandered off after Earth stopped worshipping them. Yes, Earth is canonically part of the D&D multiverse. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's cross. There's been several canonical crossovers, so yes, it is. So anyway, Bast, the culture that Bast and the other Egyptian gods were mostly interested in got overthrown or something, and they all went off and scattered for a while, and Bast wandered around, kind of dwindling a little bit. She ended up absorbing the fading remnants of some elven dancer goddess, um, because the the goddess was just going to fade away, and she decided to take up the mantle to serve the remaining followers. And gods have melded into each other and pulled apart before, so it's basically keeping that goddess a little bit better safe. Then there was she had a dalliance with Shar, not listening to people that Shar was evil, and came out of it with a taste for the darker sides of pleasure as well. She is basically she is still chaotic good. She's basically this war veteran that went on walkabout and discovered sensuality, kind of, and BDSM. Um, but yeah, I'm playing. This is Caress. When I saw that name on the list of Yuan-Ti names, I had to take it for this character. She is going to be a paladin of Sharess, and I'm going to have high charisma on her. And courtesan is a custom background, like I said, which you could do. You just do 2 skills, and then you do uh, 2 tools or languages. Combination of languages and tools up to 2. Uh, I found the courtesan online somewhere, but I'll probably just work it out myself. Okay, she is going to be more dexterity based, so I'm going to put that at 14. The strength is going to stay at a 10. It's going to make this. She's a little bit smarter than she is wise, I think. Let's see what this comes out to in the calculator. You can't see the calculator because it's not part of the internet. It's not part of the Roll20. It's not part of the Firefox. Oh well. So 15 is a 9. The 14 is a 7. The 13 is a 5. The 12 is a 4. The 2 10s are 2 each, so that's another 4. So that's 29. That leaves one more point I can put somewhere. One more point I can put somewhere. I can't put it in intelligence because that would take 2. I can't put it here because that's at the max you can do with point buy. I can't put it here because that would take 2. I could put it in strength, or I could put it in constitution, or I could put it in wisdom, and I think I'm going to put it in wisdom. Okay, so that done. Let me do Yuan-Ti. Yuan-Ti stats. Charisma goes up by 2. Yeah, I'll make her very charismatic at a 17. Okay. Intelligence goes up by 1. 14. There we go. Okay. There we go. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to do fighting style real quick. Now, officially, paladins don't get the dual wielding fighting style. I'm kind of not very happy with that. Okay, I could do great weapon. No other weapons of dueling, so the dueling would not work. She is going to be a dual wielder, so I am going to give her 2 weapon fighting style. This is me making a choice. 2 weapon fighting. It's, I mean, it's not official, but I'm fine with that. Okay. And this is kind of already breaking my with the other type of stuff. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make it defense. I'm going to go ahead and make it defense because I'm going to go stick to my thing of just using the stuff that they've posted, with the exception of the custom backgrounds, because That's in the book on how to make custom backgrounds. 2 skills and the other stuff. So she +1 to AC while wearing armor. So she, like Zinna, is going to be getting the defense thing because she's going to be a dual wielder. She's not going to have a shield, so protection's not a thing. She's not going to be using 2-weapon fighting, so great weapon's not a thing. She's not going to be doing a single weapon and no others, so dueling is not a good idea. So, defense. Okay, that's good for her. I'll finish up the rest later. Aniki, Paladin again. Now, originally this was going to be a Pathfinder character, which was a ranger with bits of cleric. And there was a alternate method of doing multi-class where you replace some feat choices with class capabilities from the class you're multi-classing to. So it was a little bit of mix of a ranger and a... Oh, I did not do hit points on the other one. Just a second. Caress your hit points. 11 for a first level, plus 7 plus 7, so 14 plus 11 is 25. There we go. Really? 12 plus 16. Oh, you should be 28. My apologies. There we go. Okay, so she was going to be a hunter of undead, and going to give her the bounty hunter thing from Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. It's urban. Now, I could make her a Dhampir. That's what she was in Pathfinder. She was a halfling-sized Dhampir, but in this case, I'm just going to make her a halfling. I'm going to make her a Ghostwise halfling, which is which is in the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Okay, the Ghostwise that fits. That could be representative of her backstory. Where, yeah, okay. Oh, she gets telepathy. You know what? I think I'll just... The telepathy does not really fit what she had. It's basically the message spell, but yeah, no, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Ghostwise Halfling. Okay. So, now, let's see. She is going to be over here. I'm going to give 14. I'm actually going to give her 15. And 12. And 12. So let's see how much this comes out to, because I think this, I may have gone over. 9 plus 7. She's strong. Plus, each of those is 4. Plus each of those is 2, so that's another, oh, plus there's another 4, and then there's another 4. So 28. No, I have 2 more points. Interesting. 2 more points. Where do I want 2 more points? I can put 1 right there. Oh, I'm going to put 1 here. And 1 here. Not 123. That would be amazing. Okay. Now, as a Ghostwise halfling, wisdom goes up by 1. Okay. As a halfling, let me look up the races in the book. Where's the book? Okay, here we go. Halfling, I believe is just going to be dexterity plus 2, but just making sure. Yep, dexterity plus 2. Okay, 14. There we go. And bounty hunter is a class. Oh, I did not do skills for Caress, did I? Silly, silly me. I'll go back and do that in just a moment. Okay, Bounty Hunter. Choose two from Deception, Insight, Persuasion, and Stealth. So I'm going to give her Stealth, and since she hunts undead, Insight, because try to figure out people. And then I'm going to give her Athletics, and what else? Athletics, Insight, Stealth, and I'm going to give her Religion, I think. Okay, Persuasion? Medicine. I'm going to give her Medicine. I mean, I know I gave that to Zina. Oh. Nope, Intimidation. There we go. Okay. Well, Zina has Intimidation as well. You know what? I'm going to give her... What was it? It was... What were the urban choices? Urban Bounty Hunter choices. Deception, Insight, Persuasion, and Stealth. Two of those are... I'll give her Persuasion. Yep. Okay. Got it. What else? Does there any other thing that Halfling gets that I need to be aware of? Space of any creature that is of size larger than you. Nope. Okay. Paladin. For her fighting style, I am actually going to get Protection. I'm going to make her based around that shield. Yep. Okay. I forgot to add the oath that Caress had too. Fighting style, Protection. Class Paladin 2. And her oath, yeah, over there, okay. Her oath is going to be Oath of Vengeance. She's an undead hunter. Paladin 3. Paladin 3rd. Okay. And now we're going to go finish off Caress. Oh, what else does Urban Bounty Hunter get? Does Urban Bounty Hunter get languages? And did I remember to note down land vehicles? Let's see. 2 from among the one type of gaming set, 1 musical instrument, and Thieves' Tools. I'm going to go ahead and give her Thieves' Tools. There's somebody else that's going to get Thieves' Tools as well. Oh, Common, and let me guess, Halfling. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Languages. Halfling. I was right. I am not surprised. Okay. Okay. And what tools? Cards. Yes, proficient, I know. Cards. Wisdom. And I'm going to give her Thieves' Tools. That gives us 2 people with Thieves' Tools, because there's somebody else I'm planning. And I might change my mind on that, actually. But we'll see. Okay. That done. Okay. Let's see. And we'll go back to Caress. And, okay, for Courtesan, because this is a Paladin of Sherez, yes, her official occupation is Courtesan, which is what you think it is. Persuasion is definitely one. And Insight, I think. I can't remember exactly. No. I'm going to go ahead and make it sleight of hand. Yeah, it was persuasion, sleight of hand. I'm going to give her religion, and I'm going to give her insight. And over here, Yanti have common and draconic. And abyssal. And for tools, I'm going to give her disguise. Intelligence, I think. I don't know. Maybe it should be query for, and I can't remember what else they have. I think it was another language. So I'm going to give her another language, and I'm going to make it Sylvan. There we go. Okay. Okay. There we go. Did I remember? Do I want to give you land animals, land vehicles? Not really. So I am going to go ahead and give you proficiency with the healer's kit. Do you have medicine? You do not have medicine. I should have given Aniki medicine. I think I'll probably give him Aniki medicine. So yeah, I'll give you land vehicles. Maybe you've driven a wagon. Okay. Oh, no, no. I'm rolling the vehicles over there. Not strength, wisdom. For, could be dexterity. We'll see. Okay. Anyway, what did Aniki have that I was going to do? Stealth, persuasion, insight, and athletics. Yeah. Insight, stealth. Yeah. Persuasion. Oh yeah. Let's give her medicine instead. Okay. And yeah. Okay. Sarissa. Okay. Oh, so her backstory. I told you Zena's backstory. Caressa's backstory is that she was a Yanti pureblood that got snatched up by slavers somehow by accident, by happenstance, and managed to escape with aid from. Somehow she associated. Maybe she attracted a little bit of attention from Shress. Maybe Shress was nearby, but she had a holy symbol of Shress on hand from somebody else, and praying to just anybody. Um, I mean, and it's going to be really interesting because Yanti don't have emotions like other people. Not the same way. But yeah, she basically escaped from slavery with the help of appealing to Shress. So that's how you have a Yanti as a good guy and worshiping a good goddess. Aniki's backstory was that um, she was married to a rather rich merchant, and at the time it was playing her as a Dhampir. Um, and the story was that they found out her heritage, that both the fact that one of her parents was halfling and one was a vampire, and the family had the marriage annulled and kept the child, and then her child went missing somehow. Can't remember. That campaign never really got off the ground very well. There was going to be a search looking for that campaign. It was a Pathfinder game, but so her story is that the person she fell in love with didn't really hold her in that high regard. They never really specified whether it was the fact that she was part halfling or part vampire that they were concerned with, but they dumped her anyway. In this case, I'm playing her as a full halfling, so might have been able to stat her up as a dwarf instead. But anyway. Okay, Sarissa. This is another ASMR. It's another Pathfinder character that. And this is another mother. Actually, this is a grandmother. Okay, so you are not a fallen ASMR. You, I believe, are a protector, Azamar, but let me double check on that. I may want Scourge. Hmm. Okay, Scourge is pretty dang violent. Okay. Radiant Protector is another one. I'm Scourge is more fitting her personality. Protector is something I'm kind of prefer. I kind of Okay, so when I have this question is what I'm going to do a roll. Oh, none of these were actual rolls. And if I want to re-roll, that means I wanted the other one. So 1 for Protector, 2 for Scourge. I'll go with Scourge. I have not tried Scourge Azamar yet. This could be interesting. The fact that it'll do damage to herself and anybody near her is a little bit of a thing. So, Scourge Azamar. Okay. Now let's stat her up. Okay. As a paladin, charisma is going to be pretty high. I'm going to go ahead and actually in this case 14 and 14 and 14. That makes 21. And 12 and 12. Let's see here. 21 because of the 3 14s plus 8 equals 29. So no, let's see here. Let's make the dexterity down to a 10. Let's try this again. 21 for the 3 14s plus 4 plus 4 leaves 1 left. I'm going to add it to the wisdom for 13. Okay. Now, actually, I could reduce this to 13 because I know something. That is 2 points. And I could add that to here. I could add that to here and make this 15. Add it to here for, that's 1. And it gives me an extra 1 I can put somewhere. I'm going to go ahead and put that into intelligence. Now, her backstory was that she is part of a family that occasionally produces Azamar. In this case, there was no specific lifespan, so I'm assuming this particular brand of Azamar lives quite a bit longer than humans. And before she was trained up as a paladin, she was actually going to be an arcane Templar, which was a magus type thing. So it was kind of a warrior cleric type thing, warrior magician sort of. But I did the arcane Templar thing, which mixed paladin into it. So I'm just going to do her as a paladin in this case. And before she was completely trained up as a paladin, she was captured by a cult, tortured and traumatized, and her family kind of wrote her off as useless, and she ended up in a marriage with another, let's see here, 2 of her rescuers. Basically brought her into their family, and that was a kind of a polyamorous marriage there. And now that her children and even her grandchildren are now running the land that her wife and husband and her ran. Since her grandchildren have taken over, she's decided to go ahead and take up the mantle of being a paladin. Finally, follow the guide of her guiding spirit, And that's why she's taking to. She looks very young, but she's actually a grandmother. It's one of those. I was pulling a Yosho like from Tenchi Muyo, where a reverse Yosho actually, because Yosho looks like a grandfather. He looks really old, and then you learn later that he's actually really that while he is really old, his real form looks very young. Fighting style, and her fighting style is going to be a great weapon. She is going to have that glaive that you saw. Paladin second. And her oath is going to be Oath of Devotion. Okay. Paladin third. And again, I'll complete the rest of that later. Okay, her background is best decided as acolytes. Actually, noble. No, she's been living as a noble for about 60, 70 years. So she's a noble. I'm going to put her as a noble. Okay, let me look up noble. Because I think it's persuasion and history, but I'm not entirely sure. I might try to work out another musical instrument into the group in there somehow. Okay, you know what? What did you have? I gave you cards. Musical instrument was on the thing. So I'm going to make that dexterity, and I'm going to make that uh, or could be charisma. I'm going to make that. No, it's going to be dexterity. Charisma would be involved performance. I'm going to make that panpipes. There we go. There we go. And caress. I gave you a language. I'm going to take that language away from you. I apologize. Bye. And I'm going to make it. See, we have a lute, panpipes. I'm going to give you tambourine. Tambourine. No, that's too. Oh, I'll give you a yarding, which is basically a Faerunian guitar. And no, it's not strength. And look, we just rolled it with strength. Okay. There we go. And the lute should be not. Yeah, it is dexterity. Okay, cool. Okay, so Sarissa, you are a noble. Let me look up noble again. Gaming set. I'm going to change that to a to something else. It's going to be history and persuasion, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give you a horn. I'm going to give you a drum. The drums. There we go. Dexterity. I'm going to have a band of paladins. A literal band of paladins. And common. Celestial. And I am going to give you Elvish, I think. Okay. There we go. And history, persuasion, and intimidation is going to be a thing. Religion, maybe? Athletics. Yep. So far, not much differentiation, but oh well. Okay. Aisha Yethtai. Okay. Aisha Yethtai is going to be a tiefling. Now, If you look at my blog, I've done Aisha Yeftai, and you'll find her there in some of her adventures, and that would be having her as a, what do you call it? That would be having her as a battle master fighter. In this case, we're going to do Oath of the Crown. Okay, and yes, she is going to be using a whip, or at least in the game we were playing, I was playing her in. She used a whip up until the point that found a she found a rapier, but we didn't play after she was given the rapier. Now this is going to be slightly different because the original version of her was a fighter, so her setup was quite a bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and put her at 14 charisma. I'm going to put her at a 14 dexterity because she is going to be a dexterous base type. I'm going to put her at a 13 intelligence, and I'm going to check my points right now. So there are 3 10s, so that's 6. Plus the 7s, that's 14. Plus 5. So I have 5 more points left. I am going to go ahead and raise this to 12. And that brings me down to 3 points. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and raise the Constitution to 12 and the Strength to 11. There we go. And that would be, yep, that would be everything. Now, as a Tiefling, she gets plus 2 Charisma, so 16, and plus 1 Intelligence, 14. And defense style is going to be dueling. I mean, not defense style, fighting style. Because she is going to be focusing on she's going to do a little bit, she's going to be focusing on using one-handed weapons. She will have something other than the whip. The whip gives a nice bit of reach that increases your capability to do threatened opportunity attacks and such, and would work very well with Sentinel. And probably going to give her a rapier as well. And her oath is going to be Oath of the Crown, which is in the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Okay. Now, her backstory is that she comes from a family that the first child of each generation is a tiefling. Of all the branches, the first child of each generation is a tiefling. So she's getting to be in her 30s, and she's more that's somewhat higher than human lifespan. So her cousins, aunts, and uncles are starting to get worried about her and pressing her to have a kid because the rest of them want to have their families be safe from the stigma of, oh, you're descended from somebody with you have tiefling possibility in your bloodline. We don't want to deal with that. And aside from her direct branch, most of them are most of the people are higher social strata, higher nobles, and that stuff because they've been managing to conceal the fact that they're related to these tieflings somehow. But her particular family her direct family has been, she's a Knight of Silvery Moon. Her direct family has been spell guards or what is the other one? Knights in Silver for 3 or 4 generations. She is obviously a Knight in Silver because she's going to be more a warrior type. Her parents are both spell guards. Her mother is a wizardess, and her father is a moon elven draconic sorcerer with silver dragon descent. Okay, so Knight of the Order is another Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, and oh, look at that, the binding's starting to come undone in my Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Knight of the Order. No, not mercenary veteran. Knight of the Order gets persuasion +1 from the following. I'm going to give her Arcana because of her family history. And then she gets persuasion. And then she's going to be a paladin rather than a what do you call it? A paladin rather than a fighter. I'm going to give her medicine. I'm actually going to give her, let's see here, it's athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, or religion. I'm not going to give her religion. Um, she's so I'm going to give her. I think I'm going to give her the insight and the athletics. I think she is a, and I don't know that I mentioned this. She is going to be a paladin of the Red Knight, who is a lawful neutral deity, goddess of strategy. Niki is going to be a paladin of Kelemvor because that makes the most sense for her background and career. Caress is Sharess. Sarissa is going to be a paladin of Tyr. Okay. Almost considered Lathander there because of the whole new start. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is going to be a paladin of treachery. This is going to be a paladin of Tymora. And I am going to make her a, I mean, the picture here actually has some slight scales because this character is from a superhero thing and she has the soul of a, she has a soul from an alternate reality. Her soul matches the wavelength of an alternate reality where people are basically mermaids, Ningyo or whatever. So she is slightly not human, though her body and genetics read human. That's something to do with that, the way things work in that superhero thing. You'll find the picture for that on my blog somewhere if you look for the mask stuff I toyed with a little bit. But so she is going to be my Tymora one. And I am actually going to make her a variant human. Oh, come on. Variant human. Thank you. Now, okay. Dex is going to be 14. Intelligence is going to be 14. Charisma is going to be 14 as well. That gives me 21 plus 6. 21 plus 6 leaves 3. I am going to put your 8 down to here, and that gives me 5. Give her wisdom up to... Let's put the dexterity up to 15. This up to 15. And this up to 11. Okay. Now, Variant Human gets +1 in 2 things. So I'm going to make that dexterity and charisma. Okay. Her backstory is entertainer. Oh, did I? Right. I forgot to give you your stuff. First of all, common. Common and infernal. And I think you speak Elvish as well because your father is Elvish. One of your aunts is Drow. Because your grandmother recently had a Drow daughter. Yeah, you have an aunt who's younger than you. Okay, what are... Oh yeah, you are proficient with the Glar. Because Knights of the Order get musical instrument or, yep, and a Glar is kind of a horn. Oh, the other thing about Aisha's backstory is that she is a war veteran. She was part of the group that was sent to, what's the name of the place? She was, I think it's Sundabar. I'm going to check it out here real quick. She was part of the group Silvery Moon sent to Sundabar, I was right, that got overrun by orcs. And so she was sent away after that because came back. She was spent several days before Sundabar was retaken. She spent several weeks before Sundabar was retaken, being stalked by wargs led by a winter wolf. So she doesn't like dogs or canines or anything of that nature. She's terrified of magical ones. Okay. So that's her backstory, is she's a war veteran from the recent orc wars. And so you have a Glar, and you are going to be an entertainer. That's going to give you acrobatics, and it is going to give you performance, I believe. You are the entertainer. The idol of it is performance. Okay, so then I'm going to be persuasion and insight. Now, this is a thing. She gets another skill because of variant human, and that is going to be athletics to ease that out a little bit. She also gets a feat. She's going to go common. I am going to go ahead and give her another one, which is going to be gnomish, I think. I did not want that. Okay. Tool sets for entertainer are disguise kit and a musical instrument. So we got 2 people with disguise. I think that's going to be wisdom, I think. And a musical instrument. So we have let me go ahead. We have a yartine, we have a lute, we have panpipes, we have drums, we have a glar. What other instruments in the realms do we have available? Bird pipes, no thank you. I should specify the type of drum, shouldn't I? Tan-tan, popular instrument with halflings and humans south of the Dalelands. You know what? Pump organ, no thank you. Glar is curved horns like a cornucopia played with the valves. Glar sound like trumpets. Okay. Oh, panpipes are here. That's bird pipes. Okay. You know what? Popular with halflings and humans south of the Dalelands. I'm going to go ahead and give her a tan-tan because she could use it while doing the acrobatics. There we go. Okay, so huzzah. Now, we also get a feat as a variant human. This is going to be interesting. Now, there are some recent ones the Unearthed Arcana put out, and I'm thinking about using those. I'm also thinking about using... Oh, I was going to make her a criminal, wasn't I? I'm also thinking about using somebody else. We do have somebody with Thieves' Tools, though. Thankfully. Aniki, you have Thieves' Tools, right? Yes, you do. So, I could get her skilled and get 3 more skills and a tool set. Or a tool set. Ah, I could get her Prodigy. That would be a good thing. I'm going to give her Prodigy. Now, Prodigy is a thing that it's a feat available to, I think, half-elves and humans. And what it does is it gives +1 language, that is going to be Goblin. Primordial? Draconic. Well, we have Draconic. I'm going to get, oh, I'm going to go ahead and get Dwarven, I think. I'm not sure we have Dwarven, but we do now. One more, it gives you one more skill, one more tool, one more language. So the second tool is going to be Thieves' Tools. So we have two people with Thieves' Tools. And the other is going to be Investigation. Nobody has particularly good perception. This is worrisome. But the other thing that the Prodigy does is give you +1 any one trait. So that is going to go to Constitution. And now I forgot to do stats on other people. So you're going to start with 11 and add 14. So that's going to be 25. Okay. There we go. Aisha, you are also going to have 25. Cool. Sarissa, you are also going to have 25. Okay, Amiki, you are also going to have 25. Caress, 25, and Zina at 28. How does Zina only get 2 higher than everybody? So let's see here. 10 plus 12 is 22. 22 plus 6 is 28. Oh, it's 3 higher. That's right. Okay, cool. Okay, so I don't have a particular backstory for her, which is a little bit unfortunate. She is going to, for fighting style, I'm thinking of making her defense. Right now we have, actually, you know what? I am going to make her a, I could make her defense fairly easy. And that would, we would have 3 people with defense. Right now we have 1 person with protection, 1 person with great weapon, 1 person with dueling, and 2 people with defense. I'm thinking actually I'm going to go ahead and make her dueling again. You know, it does occur to me, what does great weapon fighting require? Let's see, look up the Paladin. Great weapon, is it anything? Melee weapon using 2 hands. Any melee weapon using 2 hands. 2-handed or versatile. Okay, no, I'm going to give you a great weapon. It's a little bit unusual for a dex-based person. Oh, that is unusual for a dex-based person because your strength is not very good. So dueling is going to be what it is, because I can't give you something like a spear, ridiculous as it is, because you should be able to use a spear with deck as a finesse weapon. But oh well, I'm going to give you dueling. Okay, class Paladin second. Okay, and again, she is going to be Oath of Treachery, but I'm going to call it the Oath of Trickery. Because of the wonderful things that you do. And I don't have a particular backstory for her because the picture I'm using for her is from a completely different world setting, and that character's backstory does not fit with the metaphysics of D&D or Faerun in specific. So, how to do your backstory. Um, you're she's probably I think she's kind of someone that has sworn to uh, it's kind of hard to say. She's basically a paladin of Timora. I'll have to come up with something for her. You know, I could use these character cards. You can't see them. I don't know how they are shuffled. It's been a while since I looked at them. So I'm going to shuffle them a couple more times in case last time I did this, I put them up by putting all the suits together. Because I've been known to do that, sort through them and put all the suits together in order, and then that would not make a very random character thing. I'm gonna try to drag some backstory from here. Okay, so for the heart, stability is essential. Nope, that won't work. Perfectly kept, no. Library clerk. No, this doesn't really fit her. That's too stable for a trickery type. Oh, that's order. That's why. I drew the one order card in the deck. Bleh. Okay. Astrid. Okay. Wants to be involved in everybody's lives. Interesting. Chaos! This might even be better. Okay. So, let's see. Mariah, okay. Variety is life. New look every day. Someone on every street trying a new trade. Why settle for anything less than perfect? Someone on every street. Okay, so I'm going to say variety is life. Keeps moving because everything is boring if it lasts too long. Change is vital. Oh, wants to. The next card. Earn her reputation. Astonishing height is another thing there, but I like the earn her reputation. Variety is life, except for variety is life is already a heart. So I'm going to go with the astonishing height. Okay. And a girl in every port. So something of a flirt. That might be how she knows caress. Interesting. And last we have is what the spade is. Acts as an envoy to foreign lands. For who? No, it's an envoy for Timora. That's who. She spreads the word of Timora. Desires to do something heroic. Is very tall and very flirtatious and very promiscuous. Or flirtatious, I should say. Promiscuous has a rather uncomfortable connotation. Oh, 3 here. Okay. You should be level 3. Okay. And I suppose I will finish this up another time, off camera somewhere. And we will see about, you're already at the right amount. You're at the right amount. You are not at the right amount. And we'll see about the first. It's probably going to be mostly Theater of the Mind, so I don't have to worry about maps and such. But we'll see. I might get some random maps to put out. I'm not going to touch this particular map. I'll make other maps to use because I plan to use the same thing. Right now I'm using the character sheet for Dungeons and Dragons. I'll probably keep that, but I plan to use this for other games as well. This art Roll20. It's kind of just my little private thing to do solo campaigns. See you later. we'll come back with the band of Paladins at some point.